Hey everyone, welcome to the Irelia Jungle Full Gameplay tutorial. Before we start, let's first talk about her items and runes. Currently, this is the ideal standard setup and feel free to use this as your guide. For better understanding, I will explain the reason on why this is my build. Going to the items, the first item that we would go for is Trinity Force. This is very good and synergizes with her kit since it gives HP, damage, attack speed, ability haste, as well as a Sheen passive, which would help you with your first skill. Another alternative for this item could be the Divine Sunder. I would only get Divine Sunder if they have at least 2 or more tanks, or you don't have a proper front line wherein you don't have Brom, Shen, those people that could go first, and you're forced to initiate first in the team fight. So, a Divine Sunder is a good tanky item which gives a lot of damage as well. So, next item you could go for is the Blade of the Rune King. So, this item is situational. If you're ahead, Blade of the Rune King is your best bet if you want to carry. But if you're behind and you're having a hard time, you could go for the Death's Dance second item, especially if you guys need attack. Another alternative, if they have 2 or more AP, is that you could go for the Wit's End, since this would give you lifesteal and magic resist as well as attack speed, which is good for your kit. Then the next item that we would go for is the plated steel cap stasis or the mercury thread stasis. Of course, you go for the mercury threads if they have a lot of crowd control. You go for the plated steel cap if they have F heavy AD. Then I go for the stasis because it's important that we don't die in a team fight, and it's our main source of survivability. After this, we go for the Death's Dance. If you went for the Death's Dance second item, you go for the Bork third item. Likewise, if you go for the Wit's End, you go for the Death's Dance. So, Death's Dance, very good item, especially with its stats. Gives you armor, AD, and makes you a bit tanky, especially helps you when you reset or when you get a takedown. After this, we go for the Guardian Angel. Gives attack damage, armor, as well as a resurrection, which is really important, especially when we go to the late game, when it comes to the crucial team fights when we're fighting for Baron or Elder Dragon. Then the last item that I would go for is Terax, but another alternative for this could be the Randuin's Omen if they have a lot of AD, crit, or you could go for the Force of Nature if they have a lot of AP. But for standard purposes, Terax would be your best bet. So going to the runes, the first rune that we would go for is Conqueror. Conqueror is of course the best for her kit since she can proc this really easily, and with an on-hit type of Irelia, this is the ideal rune for her. Next that we would go for is Triumph. So Triumph is good because if you're able to get the resets, you would be able to have more survivability. Another alternative that you could go for is Vampirism or Brutal, but personally, I would go for the Triumph for the Execute. Then the next one you go for is Hunter Titan. Alternatives would be Bone Plating if you want a bit of early game, but if they have a lot of crowd control in their team, Hunter Titan is your best bet because crowd control is your biggest weakness. Then the last rune that we would go for is Pathfinder, one of the best, if not the best, jungle rune right now at the inspiration tree. So you have to get this because this helps with your overall roaming and jungle. So with that, I will see you guys in game. Going to the game, this is where I'll teach you the tips and tricks, do's and don'ts, and advantages, disadvantages of Jungle Irelia. In this game, we are currently up against Jungle Jace, and in a Jace versus Irelia matchup, this is a big advantage for the Irelia players because Irelia could deny Jace's burst with the use of the second skill. So if you're able to time your second skill properly on Jace's hammer burst, you would be able to counter his damage. The key thing is that you need to hit your third skill for the max stacks, and we have better overall DPS than the Jace. So the first thing that we need to do as an Irelia player is to hit your third skill. So I cannot specify enough how important it is to hit your third skill, and it's best used to use your third skill after the crowd control. For example, Rakan's second skill or the Yuumi ulti, that's when you use your third skill. So it's the key thing that you need to practice when playing Irelia in general. So the clear that I'm doing there is a red side clear where I'm clearing my red, Krugs, Raptors, then I go for a flex, either Scud, Invade, or a gank. So one thing that you need to know when playing Jungle Irelia is to always keep your stacks at full. Because when you have full stacks, your jungle clear will be way faster. For full stacks Irelia, what it does is that it gives more attack speed as well as on-hit damage. So you always want to keep your stacks full. And in order to do that, you just want to use your first skill on the small camps for a faster stacks. For faster stacks. So once I finish my raptors, I look at the map, what's needed. I see that Ziggs is overextended, so I try to gank the Ziggs. I'm not able to hit my third skill, but my damage is still really strong. Katarina flashes in, and I see that Ziggs is low, so we flash in as well to secure the kill. So very good start for us, and very important because Irelia is a snowball champion, especially when it comes to the jungle. So the faster we get our items, the better it will be for us. So the first major power spike that Irelia needs is the Triforce. If you don't have your Triforce yet, your damage will not be as strong as it should be. So when you complete the Triforce, this is very good because it has HP, attack speed, and a Sheen passive. And the Sheen passive is important for Irelia because it makes your first skill have a higher execute damage. With Irelia, if you're able to last hit a minion or a champion with the first skill, it's gonna be able to reset, and you could have a lot more dashes. And in a team fight, having your first skill always off cooldown would help you outplay your opponents. So here I still have my max stacks and I'm clearing the wolves. One tip here is when the wolf is low HP or any of the small camps, you could use your first skill to execute and it will immediately go off cooldown. So going to my first back, I'm able to buy my Phage and Sheen, which is 2 critical items for Irelia. And our first, as I said a while ago, our first objective for Irelia is to complete the Triforce. So there's a clash on the top side. They're able to take down the Caitlyn. This is good for us. I see Jace is at the top side. And I see Kennen at the bot side. So that's when I go for the bot side gank. Rakan is level 5. He has a lot of crowd control. If he's able to tag him, it would be easy kill. His second skill hits. I'm able to follow up my third skill. And we get the kill. So very easy and good gank for us. So not only do we get a kill top, we get a kill at the bottom side as well. Then I go back to clear my camps. All of my bot camps have already spawned since I did a full clear, actually a full clear on my jungle, which is good so that I would be able to get my items sooner. So Irelia, you always want to farm as much as possible, but if there are chances to gank, such as what happened on the bot side, you always want to take those chances. So my Triforce is almost up. As you can see, if you want to get stacks, full stacks as Irelia, the most basic skill combination for this is third skill, first, second, first. So even though your first skill is not used for last hit, just use it for the stacks because the number one rule for Irelia is to always have full stacks before doing anything. So when engaging, always prioritize having full stacks rather than maximizing the execute cooldown of the first skill rather. So here I try to start the dragon, but Corki is not yet in position. I deward, but Senna's able to get a trap on me. I get snared. I use my second skill to try to reduce the damage. Ziggs also uses the ultimate. I'm a bit low, so I want to try to go back, but I see that Ziggs is out of position on the right side, so I immediately go for the engage. So we take down the Ziggs. I have 3 stacks right now. Caitlyn flashes out. Now I have full stacks and I'm able to easily burst the Caitlyn out. Jace tries to make an engage. I want to tower dive, but I'm waiting for the skill. My third skill doesn't hit. Katarina goes down and I just go back instead. So I play it safe. I have already gotten a lot of kills. I don't want to give a shutdown to the opponent and make them come back in the game. So when Jace tries to face check, I use my third skill. When it hits, I immediately use my combo. I have full stacks and I just whack Jace until he gets down. So we're able to take down their jungler and their duo lane is back up. So I just go for the reset because if I try to force to take the dragon, they will just poke me and most likely I will die. So I need to go back. So I have my Triforce, then I go back to the dragon. I have my items, but our lanes doesn't go back. So this will be a bit hard for us. It will be a 2 versus 4 situation. So I just go for my blue buff instead while waiting for my team to come. So as I said a while ago, You have full stacks. My clear is pretty fast. I see Caitlyn overextended the top, so I immediately go top instead of the dragon. So me with the Yuumi, even though Senna's there, it's a 2v2. I use my ultimate. I do a 2-man hit. I use my first kill onto the Caitlyn. Yuumi gets a last hit. I get a stun onto the Senna. And we get both of the kills, which is very good for us. So Jace goes for the Rift Herald instead. Tries to go for the trade. I want to take the tower, but Ziggs has strong wave clear. So I go for the dragon instead. So here, third skill, second, first. Third skill, first, second, first. We get max stacks again. I try to look for the Ziggs. Jace TPs. Kennen goes in. I'm able to smite down the dragon. Kennen has no ultimate, I think. So we take Kennen down as well. We get a easy buy one, take one combo. Dragon plus a kill. So far, we're still doing really good. And we go back to clearing our jungle because almost all of our camps are up right now. Corki is alone on the top side. I want to cover. I want to try and gank them and prevent the tower from falling down. So I stay top. Jace has Herald as well. Take note. And I'm waiting for them to overextend for the punish, but they go back, which is good play on their part. Because if they tried to force themselves to take the tower, I would be able to catch them. And I would be able to make things will turn out differently. So here I actually adjust my itemization and I go for the Wit's End. The reason why I go Wit's End instead of the Blade of the Ruined King is that they have 2 AP champions, which is Kennen and Ziggs, and they're both very strong when it comes to the team fights, a lot of AoE damage. So I try to focus on getting as much magic resist as possible. Wherein I get the Wit's End and the Mercury Threads. One more thing is that this is also good because I have on-hit damage from my passive as well as on-hit damage from the Wit's End. Kennen tries to take the Scott. I take it away from him. I use my third skill. It doesn't connect. I use my ulti, but Kennen is able to juke my ult. I try to take her down, but my damage is not yet enough. I flash out, but Caitlyn takes me down with the ultimate. I misplayed there a bit. I should have used my second skill earlier while Kennen was using her ultimate. So, good play on their part. Kennen, instead of just going back, tries to turn the fight. They're able to get a shutdown. Even though we're able to get 2 kills, it's a bit worth for them as well. So, another tip when playing Irelia is the usage of your second skill. You always want to save your second skill. There are 2 ways to use your second skill. Number 1 is for reducing their burst damage. For example, Kennen ulti, Ziggs ulti, or you use it to get stacks. Wherein, if your third skill hits and you don't have your ultimate yet, you could use your second skill for maximum stacks. So 2 ways to get maximum stacks is hitting your ultimate, first skill, third skill, first skill again, you get maximum stacks without using your second skill, or you just use the third, first, second, first. So Caitlyn's out of position, I use my ultimate. Caitlyn has a lot of healing with the Senna. I'm able to get a stun. We have a first skill reset. I use my second skill to counter Ziggs' burst. And we get 2 kills for that. So important thing is you hit your third skill. If I didn't hit my third skill there, I would have they would have gotten me. And I wouldn't be able to get my full stacks. So here I invade their jungle. I try to look for their buffs. I see that Ziggs is trying to defend the mid. So I just go back because I want to get my items and I see bot lane is Rakan is having a hard time in the bot side. But Kennen plays a bit greedy. So I defend the mid instead. So here I see that my team is pushing the top side. There's Herald in mid lane. I'm trying my best to clear, but they have a lot of poke damage. So I play a bit safe. Once they're close enough, that's when I use my ultimate to engage. I use my third skill for the second proc of my first skill. As you can see, my first skill did not reset. So the timing of your skills is very important when playing Irelia. So one thing to note if you're first time playing Irelia is that if your third skill or ulti hits, you would be able to get a free reset on your first skill. That is why when your third skill or ulti hits on multiple champions, you're able to dash a lot in a team fight, and this is very good for us if we're able to do multiple dashes because they wouldn't be able to catch us as easily as they would be able to do. So once we take dragon, I go back to my camps. I want to clear my camps before going back because my Death's Dance is almost up. It's 1k off. I look at the price of Death's Dance. It's not yet up. So I clear again my jungle. Now I have it. So I go home and I take my Death's Dance. So my team is doing really well. Katarina is snowballing the game, which is very good for us because when Katarina gets fat, she could carry the game. So good champions with Irelia are those with a lot of crowd control. I try to save Katarina. I take down the Jace. Caitlyn's able to get an ulti onto the cat. My ulti hits. I'm able to get a reset onto the Jace as well as the Caitlyn. We get a double kill, and this is how strong Irelia can be when she is not being targeted by the opponent. We could get double kills, triple kills with Irelia's damage. So we take down the mid tower. We deny the jungle camps. Now we're looking at taking down the bot tower as well. So I see the opponent, they want to defend, but I know that I'm well ahead. We're well ahead in the game. They don't contest, we take the tower. Ziggs gets the ulti out. Most probably I will just back unless they try to face check. I see a Caitlyn face checks, I immediately use my ultimate. We get the Caitlyn down. Even though I miss my third skill, I'm still able to get a lot of damage. I'm still get to get maximum stacks. Senna gets crowd controlled with the Yumi ult. I immediately flash to get the kill as well. So here I'm looking for more camps while the objectives are not yet up. My team uses the Herald for the mid lane. While looking at the bot side, it's a 3v5, so most likely we would be able to get the tower pretty easily. Rakan gets a 2-man knockup. I use my third skill, but they're able to disengage. I missed my third, so I used my second skill to mitigate Jace's burst. We take down the Kennen. I still have my ult it hits on the Ziggs. We burst the Ziggs. We use the Jace to go out. Jace does a good stasis to block my third skill, but our damage is still really strong. Use the second skill to deny the burst. My third skill hits, but I made the one mistake there and I didn't realize that I had no more mana, so I couldn't get the first kill out. If I had mana, I would be able to kill the Senna and the Caitlyn as well because I had 2-man. My third skill hit 2 people, and if I had mana for my first kill, I would kill the Senna. I would get more HP from the Death's Dance and Triumph proc, and with that, I would be able to take down the Caitlyn as well. So it's unfortunate that I didn't have mana, but that was the idea behind it. So now I have 4 items. I have my Guardian Angel. This is where I could play a lot more greedier. I could start the team fight. I have a lot of survivability with the Death's Dance, Guardian's Angel, as well as the Stasis. So 3 items to keep us alive in a team fight. Even though we're ahead, of course, we still need to play a bit safe because most of the money is on us. So here I clear my camps again. I'm probably trying to look for a Baron. I just want to clear the wave to have winning lanes. But I see there's a fight on the top side. So I try to help my team on the top side. So I ping them that I'm coming. My team is slow, but I'm still full HP. It's a 2v1. The opponent just disengage. I'm not able to take down the Ziggs. Unfortunate, but I'm still really ahead in the game. So I was late because I had to clear the wave. So Dragon is now up. I'm pretty confident, even though it's a 2v1, I would be able to take them down. So I start the Dragon, especially if I have max stacks. So third first, second first, we get max stacks. And see how fast we attack the Dragon. And look at the on-hit damage. 107 on-hit damage every hit. So that's how strong Irelia's burst is. Senna overextends. I try to go for her. My third skill doesn't connect, so I don't chase her down because the opponents are now up. So here, the Scuttle, we want to take the bot Scott, and the next objective that I want to do here is to try and bait the Baron. It would be hard to start the Baron, especially with their composition because they have a lot of catch. They have Kennen ultimate, Jay's poke, Zeke's poke. So it's hard to get around their composition. So what I do is I try to bait them into face checking. They have a lot of poke. They poke us down. So this is a bit scary for us. So what I do is I go for a flank. So the moment I see Caitlyn show herself, I go for the ultimate. Caitlyn's able to dodge the ulti, but my stun hits the Senna. I get my full stacks. I take down the Senna. I flash into the both of the enemy carries. I have another stun. I hit a 2-man stun. I get a lot of resets. My Death's Dance also puts my HP back to almost full. And that would be a surrender from the enemy team. So with that, hope you guys enjoyed our Irelia Jungle tutorial. And I will see you guys next time. Before I go, there are 3 tips I would like to share with you when playing Irelia. The first is when to use the champion. Irelia is best used if your team has a front line and a lot of crowd control. She excels as a secondary engage and taking down the carries. Irelia has a lot of damage in her kit but is not that tanky, so always check your position. My second tip is her third skill. The third skill is one of the hardest and most satisfying skills to use. Outplays could be made especially if you're able to hit a lot with her third skill. Missing this would significantly reduce her burst and outplay potential. To prevent this, always try to use your third skill after a crowd control so the opponent would not be able to dodge it. My third tip are her combos. When clearing the jungle or in team fights, your first goal as an Irelia is to get max stacks on your passive. Her most basic combo is third, first, second, first to get max stacks. If ult is available, you could do ult, third, first, then save your second skill for possible burst damage. Practice is important and is the key to master this champion. And that is it. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe in order to see more content. Feel free to leave a comment if I missed anything and what champion you would like to see next. Thanks for watching. Ciao ciao.